In this episode, we are going to do a bit of a deep dive into costs. What do you get? What don't you get? Should I do a budget, a mid-range, a luxury safari? Budget safaris, generally speaking, you're looking between $150 to $250 per person per day. They come in all forms. You get budget camping safaris and budget lodge safaris. A very popular tour category is budget camping safaris, especially with our youngsters that come on safari with us. To paint a picture for you is generally you sign up for a specific tour. It's normally a scheduled tour, and you will then go with people that are quite happy to rough it to a certain extent. You will either camp in the national park campgrounds or outside the national park campgrounds in specifically designated areas. The camping safaris will require a certain level of participation. You know, our small group camping tours will be a dome tent, a mattress will be provided, sometimes a sleeping bag and a pillow, but mostly you're expected to bring your own sleeping bag and pillow. It is very much aimed at people that are very price sensitive and, as mentioned, who don't mind roughing it to a certain extent. You will have a guide, you will have a vehicle, so your safari experience is very similar to what you're going to get anywhere. It's really just the accommodation side that the major savings is going to come from. Budget lodges, generally in that 2 to 3 star bracket. Also, to get the best value out of a budget lodge, generally it's a group safari, and sometimes you will travel with camping clients, sometimes it'll be just people on the budget lodge safari, depending on which specific tour, whereas you will get fixed accommodation at the campsites or the national parks, and the camping people on the tour would do the 2-man dome tent. Or if it's a small group lodge safari, but in that budget category, you will not necessarily stay in the parks all the time. The accommodation of choice might dictate that you're out of the park, but generally you do your game drive first thing in the morning inside the park. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the most basic budget tours are.
So if you upgrade or choose a mid-range safari, you're looking at roughly $250 to $500 per person per day. And for that, you're going to expect a more comfortable level of lodge accommodation or tented camp. At a permanent tented camp, you've got a walk-in tent with a solid floor, ensuite bathroom. There's going to be less participation than on the budget options, but if you're on an overland trip, you might still be helping with some of the lunch preparation. You're going to, on the whole, have a slightly smaller group size, so probably mostly 7 or fewer people with the guide. Your locations are going to be slightly better, and that you'll probably spend more time inside the national parks when you're on game viewing, although occasionally you might just be close to the outside of the park and getting there in time for the morning game drive. Your guide might well have fellow crew members to assist them with the camp chores, and you're going to have a more inclusive package, so there's probably more activities included in the price. If you're staying at a lodge, it might be that some of your soft drinks are included and you're only paying for alcohol. So all in all, just a slightly more comfortable experience and less optional costs that you have to choose at the time whether you're going to pay for locally.
So luxury safaris, you're looking at $500 plus per person per night or per day. What are you getting for that? Generally, it's going to be run as a private tour. Usually if you're just 2 people, so you've got your own personal guide, you got the advantage of having a vehicle to yourself. So a vehicle that would normally seat 6 or 7 people, and it'll just be the 2 of you. So you got more room to move around, a lot more comfortable in terms of the transport and actual safari experience. And then it comes down to the accommodation. Generally that could mean either it's in a prime location, and not necessarily like a 5-star hotel, but you might be paying for location, because sometimes locations cost money. In some instances it is the actual quality of the accommodation. Instead of staying like a basic tent or a smaller lodge, you'll have sort of your own swimming pool right outside your room. You'd have a lot more sort of luxury in terms of the accommodation that you'll be staying in, room service, laundry service, things that you would have to pay extra for as opposed to going on a budget or mid-budget lodge trip. Dining experience also, when you pay more, you'll have more sort of gourmet meals. So instead of having like a buffet style meal, you'll actually get a choice of a menu, an a la carte option to choose from your meals. And then often drinks are also included on those luxury safari trips. And then also just the general personalized experience. So, be paying more, but you have a much more personalized experience from your guide. included, and that's what you'll be getting from a luxury safari.
As mentioned before, accommodation. So if you're doing a budget accommodation, yes, you're going to be saving a whole lot, but you need to take a few things in mind. Generally, it'll be a basic clean room. Sometimes it'll be an ensuite. Sometimes you'll have a shared facilities with other rooms. Basic, simple furnishings, clean, neat, often located outside the national park because it's just cheaper for the lodges to be located there. Luxury lodges are fantastic if you can afford them. Spacious private ensuite tents or rooms, premium locations, often located within the parks, private pools, all the bells and whistles. You can get your own butler should you have the need. Like I said, often located inside the parks, which is a major bonus for them. Look at the transport side. On a budget safari, it's generally shared vehicles, group tours, basic 4x4s. Sometime in Kenya, for example, they use minivans to save on costs, often have set departure dates, follow fixed routes, and so you're not at liberty to dictate where the vehicle goes. You generally will follow a circuit, share the vehicle, but yes, the pros are great. You get to meet people on budget lodge safaris that are from all walks of life. So from that aspect, it's fantastic. Luxury safaris come with private vehicles, 4x4s, off-road privileges, especially in the private reserves. From a transport point of view, it's done on a private departure basis. If anything, you'll be sharing with another couple or another few people at that luxury lodge for your game drive on the day.
So if you're on a budget overland tour, you're going to have a crew, you'll have a driver, there'll also probably be some other staff for helping at the camps. They all have to be qualified, but you're not going to get very detailed information from them. It'll be basic wildlife information. The whole group, which is sometimes 29 people in the vehicle, you've got the one guide and maybe one crew member who are there to answer your questions. So you're going to be safe, you're going to get the correct information, but their attention is divided between a large group. If you're on a luxury trip, you may well be on a private vehicle. You've therefore just got the guide who will ask your specific interests. Are you interested in photography? Are you interested in finding particular species? Are you a birder? And they will then be able to tailor that each excursion so that they try and meet your requirements as far as possible. They will have almost certainly done more extensive training and be more customer service related. So you are getting that much more personalized and attention to detail service on a private luxury trip.
My favorite part, mealtime on a budget safari. So let's say one of our basic camping trips, overland trips, what can you expect? There'll be simple meals, but they'll be hearty. Some cases they might be served outdoors on an open fire. If you're on an overland tour, that might even be on the side of a road where you're doing a picnic spot at a picnic site. But generally, it's healthy, hearty meals. Basic beverages are included depending on what trip you're doing. And then also self-service options. So you can expect to help sometimes with the preparation of meals, depending on what type of safari you're doing, and then also assisting with cleaning up afterwards. Whereas on a luxury trip, there's none of that. You can expect fine dining, gourmet meals. In some cases, a specialty chef might be in there doing the meals at the luxury lodges. Sometimes you have private dining options. Sometimes you can have, candlelit dinners out in the bush, but with all the silver service and that sort of thing. And then also, specialty dietary accommodations. You'll get more on the luxury trip than the budget.
Service levels on a budget trip is shared camp staff, shared guides, shared amenities. Once again, emphasis on group travel. It's something that certain clients of ours love. They love the fact that they are going on holiday or on safari with people they've never met before. And most of the time, the dynamic is fantastic. So there's a definite upside to it, but it's not the luxury brand. If you're looking for a luxury brand, your service level is going to be next level. I mean, it's going to be private guides, private vehicles, 24/7 concierge services, premium amenities, tailored experiences. There's nothing that, if you're prepared to pay that premium that won't be laid out for you. The level of guiding is fantastic, as Harriet has mentioned. The locations are fantastic. The amenities within the location, within the lodges are next level. There's no expense spared on a luxury safari. If you have the budget, go for it. We at African Budget Safaris can do both levels.
So if you're on a budget safari, you've still got a chance of some excellent game viewing, but the chances are that you'll be staying outside the parks. You might be on shared game viewing activities or in the overland truck, which gives you less flexibility in terms of the size of the vehicle and which roads it can access. There's going to be fixed game drive times. You're probably on a tighter time frame for your itinerary, so you might get the most spectacular wildlife sighting, but the need to be out of the park by a certain time means that the guide is going to have to make that call to keep on driving. There will be standard routes that you're following with not very much flexibility. If you're on a luxury trip, you're going to be staying in prime locations, mostly inside parks or in private concessions, where there are many more restrictions on the game viewing, which means there'll be many fewer vehicles that you see during your game viewing activities and many fewer at each sighting. There will be flexible times for game drives. The guide will chat to you. It's still always going to be best to go out early morning and late afternoon, but if you want an extra drive or you want to do that game walk in the middle of the day, they're going to be able to arrange that for you. In quite a few parks, there's also the possibility of some off-road driving. If they know that there's a particular animal that's just off the road, they will be allowed to go off-road for that, which is not possible in other parks or in certain types of vehicle. So it will just give you that little bit more chance of seeing a wider range of animals in the time that you're available for game viewing.
Yeah, well, in essence, your budget benefits, it's going to be more affordable. You'll be able to go on longer trips, going to be more possible. You'll have probably more authentic experiences because you'll be staying maybe closer to local villages or in smaller accommodations, not too in bigger hotels and that, so be more authentic, and you'll still have a great wildlife viewing experience. So, don't knock the budget option. There are those benefits for it. It's definitely worthwhile. That's all you can afford. And if you're wanting to splurge, it's a special occasion, or you want to treat someone, luxury safari option, those benefits, it's going to be exclusive experience, premium locations, your personalized service, and enhanced comfort. So, if you're going to splurge, special occasion, you're going to get all those extras for your buck.
We cater for all types of clients. Some clients absolutely love the budget experience because it gives that shared experience. It gives the meeting other people from all over the world. Camping under the African stars, you can't beat it. Luxury, on the other hand, very exclusive, generally done on a private basis, no cost spared to ensure your comfort. Overall, both options are fantastic. We cater for both. Happy for you guys to reach out. Contact us through our website, africanbudgetsafaris.com. Sign up with our 6-part email course, which will give you a very good overview of everything we've been talking about so far. Sign up for our newsletter. It comes out once a month. We discuss everything safari related. Give us a like, subscribe, and share. And that's great.